Test 1 2 1 2. Good afternoon. The meeting of the Revere Zoning Board of Appeals will now come to order. Roll call.
Mr. Bacilli? Present. Mr. D'Angelo? Present. Mr. Lopes? Present. Mr. Mazzoni? Present. Mr. Tucker?
Present.
Present. And Mr. Pelton, alternate. Present. Thank you. First matter before the board is application A1724. This was continued for the meeting of 11/29/17. The application of CBW Lending LLC, appealing from the decision of the Inspector of Buildings of the City of Revere, wherein the inspector contends that said property is being illegally used for commercial automotive storage and/or commercial parking lot, currently storing and/or parking over 1,000 vehicles at the property, which requires a special permit from the City Council. Said permit expired on July 30th, 2015. The appellant contends that they have a special permit issued by the Revere City Council for parking of motor vehicles, which is currently valid and in full force and effect, and that the operation of the parking lot may legally be conducted at 190 VFW Parkway, Revere. We have a letter from the attorney for the applicant requesting to further continue this matter.
Is there a motion on the floor to continue? Okay, roll call, please.
The question comes on continuing this matter to the meeting of January 24th, 2018. Mr. Bacilli? Yes. Yes. Mr. D'Angelo? Yes. Mr. Lopes? Yes. Mr. Mazzoni? Yes. And Mr. Tucker?
Yes.
Yes. This matter is continued to January 24th, 2018, 4 p.m., City Council Chamber. The next matter before the board is application A1725, continued for the meeting of 11/29/17. This is the application of Michelle Avila, 31 Stone Street, Revere, requesting a rear and side yard variance to enable the appellant to construct an above-ground swimming pool on Lot 18 at 31 Stone Street, Revere.
Please press the microphone and state your name and address for the record.
Michelle Avalar, 31 Stone Street.
Okay, do you have anything more to add to this, or it speaks for itself?
Well, I did speak to the pool company, and they are willing to relocate the pool.
Okay. There any other proponents in the audience? Any opponents? Hearing no proponents, I'll close that side of the hearing. Any opponents? Hearing none, I'll close that side of the hearing. Any members wish to speak? Okay, we vote at the end of the meeting, so. No opponents? Other than the last meeting, we had an opponent.
The next application before the board is application A1728, which was continued from the meeting of 11/29/17. HR Development LLC, 30B Railroad Street, Revere, requesting various variances to enable the appellant to construct a 145-unit residential structure with 2,500 square feet of restaurant and retail space with 236 parking spaces at 320, 327 Revere Beach Boulevard, Revere. We have an email from the attorney for the applicant requesting a continuance of this matter.
Good evening.
Mr. Chairman, Attorney Lawrence Simeone for HR Development. As we noted the last time we were before this honorable board, we felt that the date would be too short for us, and that we kind of in advance told you that we'd be looking for a January date. So our status hasn't changed. We still got work to do, and would ask you to continue it to January 24th.
Okay, is there a motion to continue? Okay.
Question comes on continuance to January 24th, 2018 at 4 p.m. Mr. Bacilli? Yes. Mr. D'Angelo? Yes. Mr. Lopes? Yes, Mr. Mazzoni? Yes, Mr. Tucker?
Yes.
Yes, the continuance is granted. The next matter before the board is application A1730. This is the application of Yeaman Street Investment LLC, 111 Everett Avenue, second floor, Chelsea, Mass., requesting minimum front yard, side yard, and rear yard setbacks, maximum floor area ratio, and parking variances to enable the appellant to raise the current structure and construct a three-story mixed-use development consisting of 22 residential micro-units and 4 commercial units on lots 828 and 829 at 14 Yeaman Street, Revere. We have communications to the board from the Director of Economic Development in support of this application. We have a communication from Paul Rizzo, M&R United Realty Trust, an abutter to the project, in opposition to the project. We have communications from Stephanie DeSisto, 7 Reservoir Avenue, Gloria DePietro, 17 Reservoir Avenue, and Joseph and Diana Volpe, 19 Reservoir Avenue, all direct abutters in opposition to this proposal.
Okay, just for a little bit of housekeeping, the presentation from the applicant can be a maximum of 5 minutes, and then anyone else who wishes to speak as a proponent or an opponent is 3 minutes. And I will hold to that.
These are all
If you have already submitted anything in writing, there's no need for you to get up and present yourself because we have all gotten the packets and have read everything detailed. If anyone else would like to get up, by all means, when I call for proponents and opponents, you're welcome to do so.
Good afternoon, board members. My name is Corey Rhodes. I'm an attorney with D'Ambrosio Brown LLP, 14 Proctor Avenue in Revere. I represent the applicants, Yeaman Street Investment LLC, and its principals, Jamie Russo and Rick Costa. We're here seeking variance relief to construct a contemporary 3-story structure with 22 small apartment units, 20 of which are going to be around 290 square feet to 400 square feet, again, very small units, and the remaining 4 units will be around 600 square feet. Very small units, just want to stress that. In addition to these apartment units, there will be 4 commercial spaces on the ground floor. This is a significantly scaled back project from what was originally proposed for this site. 11 fewer units, an entire story has been taken off. This is the current rendering of what this would look like if approved. We think it's a gorgeous new building for a key property in the downtown area. This is really a project about revitalizing something in the city center. The current property there, a 3-family structure, is really kind of out of sorts for the area. I think it was added on to by prior owners over the years, and this would be really making a more harmonious structure for this downtown location. The project also has benefits of increasing the commercial tax base with these 4 new commercial spaces on the ground floor, something to activate the sidewalk and really generate greater pedestrian use in front of the building and just activate the entire downtown. In regards to parking, this is a transit-oriented development. It's located next to 3 major bus lines, the 116, the 117, and the 119, and the Silver Line is a little further down Broadway and provides a direct shot into Boston. This property also will be specifically marketed to tenants without cars. This is a restriction in the lease that tenants will be signing, really laying it on that they will not have a parking space when renting in this building. Anyone coming in here, it's not going to be caught off guard that they don't have a place to park. And I want to reiterate that these are small units, all studios and 1 bedrooms. There are no 2 bedrooms, there are no 3 bedrooms. This is not a place where families will be renting, where you get a lot of people living in 1 unit. Beyond that, parking concerns related to this project are further removed by the owner's pledge to repair and restripe the McKinley School parking lot across the street, which is going to be used for public neighborhood parking. This is adding over 30 new parking spaces, benefiting not only this project, but the entire neighborhood. This housing is for young professionals. It's a new generation. It's people who rely on bikes and Uber and Lyft and Zip cars and taking the bus. It's a new thing for a vibrant downtown, a new type of Revere. Beyond this, the project has the support of the city's administration. You should have a letter, and I can have additional copies if you would like, from the city's economic development director citing the numerous benefits of this project. Additionally, the ward councilor, who unfortunately is stuck out of state, missed a flight is what I hear, is in full support of this project after this parking pledge was put into place. We're happy to answer any questions you have and hope you can support this project. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any proponents? Anyone in favor? Hearing none, I'll close that side of the hearing. Any opponents? Anyone opposed? Please step up to the microphone, state your name and address for the record. Up, could you press the button and it will turn on? Nope, there you go.
Hi, my name is Zoraida Rodriguez. I'm at 1820 Reservoir Avenue. They can make this building and ask anybody to sign contracts saying that they're not going to bring cars, but realistically, we know everybody owns a car. 90% of people own a car. And we've had enough trouble getting permits and stopping people from parking on our street. It makes it to the point where I come home from work. I work a hard job. I'm working in the snow. I'm coming home at 2 o'clock in the morning, and I don't have a place to park my car. Now you're going to have 20 new apartments and people looking for a place to park. They're the next street over, and they're going to migrate to our street because they don't want to pay the meters in Broadway. This is why we're opposing for this, because we don't need more people parking on our street.
Okay, thank you. Are there any other opponents?
Hi, my name is Gloria DePietro.
Could you pull the mic down a little bit? There you go,
That
beautiful.
better?
Great.
I was here the other day, but nevertheless, I'm just trying to say to you that my name is Gloria DePietro. I live 17 Reservoir Ave, and I've been there for over 50 years, and I am really opposed to this project because the way it's being built, it's going to be right on top of our land. It's like 10 feet apart from my abutting land, and it's ridiculous. The wall there is about to fall. There's something that has to be done even to the wall before they can even build. That's got to have a construction of a different wall because the thing is ready to fall apart. So, I mean, that's another project that he should be very interested in because these people are disgusted. You can't, I mean, he's had different tenants there. They come in and out. They're all over the place. And he's going to try not to have a parking space there for people. I'm definitely opposed to this. I'm a direct abutter, and that's my opinion on this project.
Thank
okay?
you.
Thank you.
Anyone else wish to speak as an opponent? Please step up to the microphone, state your name and address for the record.
My name is Joseph Volpe. I live on 19 Reservoir Avenue, and I will be a direct abutter to this property that's going to probably be in process. I'm entirely against it. That's all I have to say.
Thank you. Anyone else wish to speak?
Good afternoon, Stephanie DeSisto, 7 Reservoir Avenue. I want to reiterate that I am a direct abutter as well, and we have the most to lose if this project is approved. For all of the reasons stated in the joint opposition letter that each of you received, for crowding, for altering the topography that's going to put at risk our properties, for the parking. I didn't know that private parties can utilize city-owned property to park vehicles for their tenants. it's going to intensify the density there. It's going to be, it doesn't, this whole thing is not a good thing for the abutters. I don't care if you are the mayor or if you are the director of community development. We're the ones that live there. We're the ones that are going to be impacted by this negatively. There's no upside to this. The house that's currently there is fully occupied. It's got families there, and it's by no means blighted. You've seen the photographs, and I'm just asking you, please do not approve this. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else wish to speak? Any other opponents? Hearing none, I'll close that side of the hearing. Any members wish to speak? Okay, we'll continue on to the calendar item, members.
I'd like to note one thing, that with respect to calendar item A1728, the A-Chara Development Representative Rosalie Vincent sent a letter of opposition to it. The members have it, and this communication will be made part of the record. The next application before the board is application A1731. This is the application of DCM Realty LLC, 25 Rarini Drive, Wakefield, requesting minimum frontage, lot area, front, side, and rear yard setbacks, floor area ratio, parking, two-way travel aisles, and screening between the residential and non-residential uses, to enable the appellant to raise the current automobile repair garage and construct a 3-story, 8-unit residential apartment building at 1540 North Shore Road, Revere.
Good evening.
Good afternoon. My name's Corey Rose. I'm an attorney with D'Ambrosio Brown, LLP, 14 Proctor Avenue, Revere. I represent the applicant, DCM Realty LLC, and its principal, David Massey. To orient you where this project is, this is where North Shore meets DeHone in the Shirley Avenue area, steps really from the Revere Beach T Station. There is a auto repair garage that's been there for decades. Really, it's a non-conforming use in that neighborhood and really out of place for what is now a vibrant residential neighborhood. My client's proposing to put in a 8-unit apartment building with 7 parking spaces that are underneath. This is the rendering we have from the front of the building. You'll notice that there's a parking, there's a garage door in the front where vehicles will enter. They will be all internal to the building, so that is 7 parking spaces underneath the building. I apologize that I do not have a better rendering. We attempted to get some 3D visuals put together, but just ran out of time. At the urging of the ward councilor, we did conduct a community meeting as well, put out some letters and flyers, and had a meeting the other night at the Bagel Bin. The project was generally well received. I think it's a good project for this neighborhood. It's getting rid of a non-conforming use in the area, and this small relief on parking, really just this one additional parking space, in terms of having it be one-to-one parking, is warranted given how close it is to the Revere Beach T Station. Dimensionally speaking, again, this is a unusual lot in the area, and to fit this project, these are the necessary things that are needed. We're happy to answer any questions. We think this is a good project for the area, and ask for your support.
Thank you. I was just going to say, this is the ward councilor in the audience. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. Ira Novoselsky, 53 DeHone Street, Ward 2 Councilor. I live right around the corner, so I'm not only a city councilor in this case, but I'm almost a direct abutter to this project as I was to the last 2 projects that were put on DeHone Street. when I've met with the developer over the last couple months to adjust what he wanted to do originally. And he's come down to a level where I feel comfortable. With the parking that he has, I asked him to do 1-for-1. He really couldn't squeeze in that extra one, but, I think the 7 parking spaces for 8 units is reasonable. I did get him down from almost double from what he originally proposed. I did have a neighborhood meeting last week. We sent out 66 invitations, and 4 people showed up. So out of the 4, there was only 1 that had some concerns, and that lives in the property on DeHone Street, abutting this property on North Shore Road. And where there was only 1 elevation shown, is what was here, they were concerned of what the other elevations were going to, how it's going to affect their direct abutment of their property. They're the only ones that kind of had a problem by not seeing this, because they really didn't see the whole picture. So, initially I have no problem with it. The butter is a little uncomfortable, stating that, they're the only ones that are kind of complaining by not seeing everything. So I'm just letting you know that, this is the issue with one abutter. Again, I had no problems with what they've come up with, and I have an idea what the other elevations look like, because, that was my business for many years, but it's kind of tough for a neighbor to really realize what's going on. So I leave that with you and let you know if there's anything else.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Seeing that it's a public hearing, are there any proponents? Anyone in favor? Hearing none, I'll close that side of the hearing. Any opponents? Anyone opposed? Kindly step up to the microphone, state your name and address for the record. I think you have to turn it on. Thank you.
Richard B. Armstrong, 111 Centennial Ave, Revere. This project is the 3rd building project in that small area in the last 6 months. They've given up parking on the first 2 buildings already. They've taken away our park. They have a diagonal park at Centennial and DeHorn Street. There were parking meters in that area. They took those away, which took money away from the city. They're just building too much, and they're putting too much strain on the parking in that area. I just can't see any more development in that area. You're taking a commercial property that's been there for a while, and you're going to build a residential with 8 residential units. The other 2 buildings have 6 and 6 residential units, plus retail units. There is just no place to park in that area. The city has given up the parking meter spaces. For what reason, I wasn't notified of that. And it's just a total giveaway. And we're the ones that are being penalized for it with no parking.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you. Are there any other opponents? Hearing none, I'll close that side of the hearing. Any members wish to speak?
The next application before the board is application A1732, BJM Realty Investment LLC, requesting a second 6-month extension of variance A1607. We have a communication from their legal counsel withdrawing the application. Question comes on
Is there a motion to withdraw?
agreeing to withdraw.
Okay.
Granting, question comes on withdrawal. Mr. Bacilli? Yes. Mr. D'Angelo? Yes. Mr. Lopes? Yes. Mr. Mazzoni? Yes. Mr. Tucker?
Yes.
Yes. Withdrawal is granted. First matter before the board is application A 1725. Application of Michelle Evalier, 31 Stone Street, Revere, requesting rear and side yard variances to enable the appellant to construct an above-ground swimming pool on Lot 18 at 31 Stone Street, Revere. Question comes on granting the relief requested by the appellant. Mr. Bacilli? Yes. Yes. Mr. D'Angelo? Yes. Yes. Mr. Lopes? Yes. Mr. Mazzoni? Yes. Yes. Mr. Tucker?
No.
No. It is granted. The next application before the board is application A 1730, the application of Yeaman Street Investment LLC, 111 Everett Avenue, Chelsea, requesting various variances to enable the appellant to raise the current structure and construct a three-story mixed-use development consisting of 22 residential micro-units, 4 commercial units on lots 828, 829 at 14 Yeaman Street, Revere. Question now comes on granting the relief requested by the appellant. Mr. Bacilli? Yes. Yes. Mr. D'Angelo? Yes. Yes. Mr. Lopes? Yes. Yes. Mr. Mazzoni? Yes. Yes. Mr. Tucker?
No.
No. The variances are granted. The next application before it is application A 1731, DCM Realty Trust, DCM Realty LLC, requesting various variances to enable the appellant to raise the current automobile repair garage and construct a 3-story, 8-unit residential apartment building at 1540 North Shore Road, Revere. Question now comes on granting the relief requested by the appellant. Mr. Bacilli? Yes. Yes. Mr. D'Angelo? Yes. Yes. Mr. Lopes? Yes. Yes. Mr. Mazzoni? Yes. Yes. Mr. Tucker?
Yes.
Yes, this is granted. I think, Mr. One more. We have a withdrawal on A 1732, which has been approved. Attorney Cipolletta was here? Yes. Seeking clarification on a previous variance.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Mr. Chairman and members, the board was kind enough to grant relief on application A 1721. It's an application of VFW Parkway LLC and Win Stanley Enterprises for the Wonderland Marketplace. And as the board will well remember from last month, we had done a calculation of the overall parking requirement, calculating the number of spaces at the worst-case scenario, and that would be to put all of the highest and most intensive uses, parking-intensive uses, into the calculus, because as the new owner is re-tenanting the property, they're not quite sure who, for instance, may be taking the property that would be abandoned or left by a current tenant. And we were granted the parking relief. We were just seeking in the decision a clarification, or whether it's actually necessary to have under the conditions section the phrase that says, "This variance is granted to enable the appellant to operate a health club." That really wasn't why although a health club is part of the assemblage of uses there, it's really not why we require the parking variance. So the owner felt that in their world, which is finance, as opposed to my world, which is zoning, they may have a little difficulty trying to explain what that means when they get to their end financing, or they're dealing with bank counsel or whatever. So I would request that I don't see that it adds or subtracts anything from the decision, so I'm requesting that it be stricken as a condition, as maybe not appropriate or particularly responsive to the application that was granted.
No problem with that.
Right, very well. Thank you so much.
Can we get a roll call vote on it, please?
This is a clarification of a previous variance granted on application A1721, asking that the condition which provides that a health club go there be stricken from the decision. And that would just be stricken out, and the original verbiage at the top of the variance would remain. So the question comes on striking the condition with respect to the wording health club. Does everybody understand that? Ready for a roll call? The question comes on striking health club from decision A1721. Mr. Bacilli? Yes. Mr. D'Angelo? Yes. Mr. Lopes? Yes. Mr. Mazzoni? Yes. Mr. Tucker?
Yes.
Yes. It is stricken. And the last application. This is application A1733. This is the application of S. Claus, 1000 North Pole, requesting various temporary variances on December 24th, 2017, to enable the appellant to conduct a one-night not-for-profit delivery service within the city of Revere, to facilitate the delivery of toys and gifts to various resident locations within the community. To reduce the carbon emissions, the appellant proposes to use non-domesticated animals to conduct a delivery service. The non-domesticated animals respond to the names Dasher, Dancer, Prancer, Vixen, Comet, Cupid, Donner, and Blitzen, and Rudolph.
Roll call?
On the variance request, Mr. Bacilli, yes. Mr. D'Angelo, yes. Mr. Lopes, yes. Humbug. Mr. Mazzoni, yes. And Mr. Tucker?
Yes.
Yes.
Our next meeting will be January 24th at 4 o'clock. Everyone, have a happy holiday.